Hello and welcome back to our introductory course on JavaScript. In lesson 4, we're going to be talking about various ways on how to write functions in JavaScript. Functions are one of the fundamental building blocks in JavaScript. A function is essentially a set of statements that perform a task or calculate a value. A function is defined with the function keyword followed by a name, followed by parentheses. So let's go ahead and write our first function. Let's go ahead and create a greeting function. And let's put our parentheses there with our curly braces. And then let's go ahead and console.log. Hi, how are you doing today? And now, to run our function, we can simply do greeting, parentheses, semicolon. And now let's go ahead and run this code by doing node lesson4.js. And as you can see, it prints out, hi, how are you doing today? A neat thing about functions is that it can also take parameters. To input a parameter, all you have to do is put your parameter name inside these parentheses right here. So let's simply put name, and now let's say hi. Let's split this string up into two parts. So hi plus name, how are you doing today? And since we have this parameter right here, all we have to put is a name inside here and it'll automatically take it in as the name. So let's go ahead and put Sid. Now let's run the code. And as you can see, it says, hi Sid, how are you doing today? Let's go ahead and modify this code so it takes in another parameter. Let's create a parameter called time by simply putting a comma after name and inputting time. Now, let's put the time is currently plus time. And now we can simply put 3:15 p.m. Now if we run this code, as you can see it says, hi Sid, how are you doing today? The time is currently 3:15 p.m. And when you're putting parameters in a function, you want to follow the same order when you're calling them. So as you can see, I put the name right here and the time right here. Now let's say we wanted to set a static default value for name. Let's go ahead and put name as Bob. And let's go ahead and delete this code. And let's go ahead and delete our time. And now let's run this code to see what happens. As you can see, it says, hi Bob, how are you doing today? So now that we understand the basics of a function, let's go ahead and take a look at function expressions that can be assigned to a variable. So let's go ahead and create a new function, but this time let's go ahead and declare it as a variable. So if you remember how to declare a variable, it is simply var, and then let's say greeting expression equals, and then we start typing in our function. So let's go ahead and take in the parameter of name. Then let's put our curly braces, console log hello name. Now let's go ahead and call our function just like we did with the previous greeting function. So let's go ahead and do greeting express or expression Bob semicolon node lesson4.js, and as you can see it says hello Bob, and if you realize there's no space here, so all we can do is just put a space right after hello and it'll fix that. Now let's take a look at another way of writing functions in JavaScript, and this is called arrow functions. Arrow functions were introduced in ES6 and they offer a more concise syntax for writing functions. They are pretty useful when writing functions that are used as arguments for higher ordered functions. So here's how we can write an arrow function. So we simply make a variable, let's call it greeting number 2 equals, and then our parameter. So let's go ahead and take in name again, and then we simply type in an arrow like so, and then curly braces console.log hello plus name. And now to call the function, it's just like any other function in JavaScript. Greeting number 2, and then you take in your parameter. And as you can see, it prints out hello Bob. So now that you understand how to write basic functions, function expressions written as a variable, and arrow functions, I encourage you to create your own function that does different tasks, and then try calling on the function with different arguments. The ability to respond to user actions and reuse code by putting it in a function is a powerful tool that makes your JavaScript code more efficient. In the next lesson, we'll cover a very crucial topic of object and arrays, which are used to store multiple related values and access them in an organized manner. Keep practicing these concepts until you feel ready to move on to the next lesson. I'll see you then.